Hello all, welcome to the course of SIEM and ELK, the complete guide. So security information and event management and Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana. I am your instructor Rajiv Kumar, and in this course we will go in depth about the modules defined in further slide. So we have several modules in this SIEM course. Module 1, which talks about SIEM basic information like how does SIEM work, the benefits of using SIEM, event versus incident, what is alert or what is breach, alerting examples, what are the top names in SIEM. In module 2, we will learn about top use cases for SIEM. In module 3, we will learn about behavior analysis like network behavior analysis or user behavior analysis, indicators of compromise, indicators of attack. In module 4, we will look into SOC, Security Operations Center, what is the basic meaning of SOC, how SOC team looks like, what SOC team does, what is security intelligence capability. In module 5, we will look into some of the attack scenarios about Security Operations Center. We will see 2 scenarios and how to automate them. And then in last, we will start going in depth about ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana, which includes FileBeats also, and we will have hands-on experience also. So let's start this course. So what is SIEM? Security information and event management software has been in use in various guides for over a decade and has evolved significantly during that time. SIEM solutions provide a holistic view of what is happening on a network in real time and help IT teams to be more proactive in the fight against security threats. What is unique about SIEM solutions is that they combine security event management SEM, which carries out analysis of event and log data in real time to provide event correlation, threat monitoring and incident response. Security information management, which is called SIEM, which retrieves and analyzes log data and generates a report. For the organization that wants complete visibility and control over what is happening on their network in real time, SIEM solutions are critical. So how does SIEM work? SIEM software works by collecting log and event data that is generated by host systems, security devices and applications throughout an organization's infrastructure and collating it on a centralized platform. From antivirus events to firewall logs, SIEM software identifies this data and sorts it into categories such as malware activity, failed and successful logins, and other potentially malicious activity. When the software identifies activity that could signify a threat to the organization, alerts are generated to indicate a potential security issue. These alerts can be set as either low or high priority using a set of predefined rules. For example, if a user account generates 20 failed login attempts in 20 minutes, this could be flagged as suspicious activity, but set at a lower priority as it is most likely to be a user that has forgotten their login details. However, if an account experiences 120 failed login attempts in 5 minutes, this is more likely to be a brute force attack in progress and flagged as a high severity incident. The benefits of using SIEM: threat detection and preventing potential security threats, real-time reporting, log analysis and retention, long-term analytics of security logs and events, reducing the impact of security breaches, reducing costs, IT compliance, safeguarding organizations of all sizes, and increased efficiency. Because SIEM solutions are able to collect event logs from multiple applications, cloud, firewall, network, and devices, they allow IT staff to identify, review, and respond to potential security breaches faster. Identifying a threat in its early stages ensures that the organization suffers only minor impact, if any at all. So here we will see the comparison between event versus incident. So what are the common security relevant log events? This could be report from antivirus software that a device is infected by malware, report from firewall about traffic to or from a prohibited network access, attempt to access a critical system from an unknown host or IP address, repeated failed attempts to access a critical system, change in user privileges, usage of insecure or prohibited protocols or ports. So what are the common examples of security incidents? So this could be malicious email received and activated by organizational users, malicious website accessed by organizational users, unauthorized access, improper or prohibited usage by an authorized user, an attempt to compromise, deny access to, or delete organizational systems, loss or theft of equipment such as employee laptops, servers, etc., data leak, or malware infection by removable media. So whether it is alert or breach, in a nutshell, SIEM allows IT teams to see the bigger picture by collecting security event data from multiple sources in one place. A single alert from an antivirus filter may not be a cause of panic on its own. But if traffic anomaly alerts are received from the firewall at the same time, this could signify that a severe breach is in progress. SIEM collects all of these alerts in a centralized console, allowing fast and thorough analysis. Now we will go through some of the alerting examples. So here we could define rule, what is the goal of that alerting system, what would be the trigger point, and what could be the event sources for those alerts. Let's take one example as repeat attack and the login source as a rule. So what could be the goal here? Early warning for brute force attacks, password guessing, and misconfigured applications. Trigger point, alert on 3 or more failed logins in 1 minute from a single host. Event sources like Active Directory, syslog, which includes like Unix hosts, switches, routers, VPN, and other sources like Radius server, Takash server, monitored applications. If we see second rule, which talks about repeat attack on a firewall, goal would be early warnings for scans, worm propagation, etc. Trigger point could be alert on 15 or more firewall drop, reject, deny events from a single IP address in 1 minute. Event sources are like firewalls, routers, and switches. In rule 3, we can see repeat attack on a network intrusion prevention system. Goals are early warning for scans, worm propagation, etc. Trigger could be alert on 7 or more IDS alerts from a single IP address in 1 minute. Event sources could be like network intrusion detection and prevention devices. So we have other rules also defined over here as an example, like repeat attack on host intrusion prevention system, virus detection and removal, or rule like virus or spyware detected but failed to clean. So these examples you can go in details as explained in this slide. What are the top names in SIEM market? So as you can see over here, there are four parameters defined: challenges, leaders, niche players, and visionaries. And horizontal basis you can see completeness of vision, and vertical basis you can see ability to execute. So these are the top players into the market, like FireEye, Dell Technologies RSA, McAfee, Rapid7, and the top two players that I have marked over here, which are Splunk and IBM. In second module, we will learn about some of the top use cases for SIEM. So what SIEM provides as use cases, like authentication activities such as logins in critical systems, failed login attempts greater than a given threshold, attempts to compromise user credentials. Connection activities use cases like overview of the network connection by status, origin, and direction. This defines whether connections are allowed or denied, the host name, country name of source, and destination and direction. Transmission of sensitive data in plain text. Use cases for account management are like monitoring of user account creation, deletion, and other activities to monitor resource and system access privileges. Monitoring of dormant and inactive accounts, unusual behavior on privileged account. Operational insights use cases are like monitoring day-to-day operational activities such as inbound and outbound data uses, or data usage by specific applications, traffic to malicious domains, instances of denial of service, system changes. Use cases for threat, malware, and vulnerability detection are like such as indicators of compromise, malware infections, and identification of vulnerable systems. To identify malicious behavior such as data staging, infected host, or account misuse. Then there could be some more phishing efforts or threat hunting. Continuing to the chapter of use cases for SIEM, alerting and incident response use cases are like any potential suspicious situation triggering alerts and subsequently the incident management process, detection of possible brute force attack. Policy related activities use cases are like password aging by users authentication from multiple sources, insider threats, or acceptable use monitoring. Compliance, regulation, and audit related use cases are such as ISO 27001, GDPR, PCI DSS, HIPAA, and many more. File integrity monitoring or protection against data loss or IoT security. Forensic analysis related use cases are like the ability to search across logs on different nodes and time periods based on specific criteria, pattern analysis, detection of anomalous ports, services, and unpatched hosts or network devices. Helps to detect 0 days, or we can say 0 day attacks. Provide ad hoc searching and reporting from data for advanced breach analysis. Suspicious behavior of log sources like expected host log source not reporting, or unexpected events per second from log sources. In module 3, we will learn about some of the behavior analysis. So the first one is NBA, network behavior analysis. So what happens in conventional monitoring? Conventional intrusion prevention system solutions defend a network's parameter by using packet inspection, signature detection, and real-time blocking. NBA. NBA is a way to enhance the security of proprietary network by monitoring traffic and noting unusual actions or departures from normal operations. NBA solutions watch what is happening inside the network, aggregating data from many points to support offline analysis. After establishing a benchmark for normal traffic, the NBA program passively monitors network activity and flags unknown, new, or unusual patterns that might indicate the presence of a threat. The program can also monitor and record trends in bandwidth and protocol usage. Network behavior analysis is particularly good for spotting new malware and zero-day exploits. Continuing to network behavior analysis, what are the top common tools into the market are like Flowmon, QRadar, NetFlow, Riverbed. These are the some of the examples. And what is the popular threat detections within network behavior analysis and design are like payload anomaly detection, protocol anomaly or MAC spoofing, protocol anomaly IP spoofing, protocol anomaly TCP UDP fan out, protocol anomaly IP fan out, protocol anomaly duplicate IP, protocol anomaly duplicate MAC, virus detection, bandwidth anomaly detection, connection rate detection. What is user behavior analysis? So user behavior analysis is a type of cyber security process that takes note of the normal conduct of users. In turn, they detect any anomalous behavior or instances when there are deviations from these normal patterns. Machine learning, algorithms, and statistical analysis to know when there is a deviation from established patterns, showing which of these anomalies could result in a potential real threat. For example, if a particular user regularly downloads 10 MB of files every day, but suddenly he downloads gigabytes of files, the system would be able to detect this anomaly and alert them immediately. One of the best practices for IT security is to use both SIEM and UEBA, user behavior analysis, to have better security and detection capabilities. Continuing to user behavior analysis, SIEM is the use of a complex set of tools and technologies that gives a comprehensive view of the security of your IT system. It makes use of data and event information, allowing you to see patterns and trends that are normal and alert you when there are anomalous trends and events. In contrast to that, UEBA works the same way, only that it uses user and entity behavior information to come up with what's normal and what's not. SIEM, however, is rule based and advanced hackers can easily work around or evade these rules. SIEM rules are designed to immediately detect threats happening in real time, while advanced attacks are usually carried out over a span of months or years. In contrast to that, UEBA, on the other hand, does not rely on rules. Instead, it uses risk scoring techniques and advanced algorithms, allowing it to detect anomalies over time. So, what are the indicators of compromise? Indicators of compromise help answer the question, what happened? While indicators of attack can help answer questions like what is happening and why. So some of the examples of indicators of compromise which says what happened are like unusual outbound network traffic, web traffic with unhuman behavior, mismatched port application traffic, anomalies in privileged user account activity, log in red flags, unusual DNS request, HTML response sizes which can be bigger in size. Indicators of attack are similar to indicators of compromise, but rather than focusing on forensic analysis of a compromise that has already taken place, indicators of attack focus on identifying attack which is going through. Some of the examples are like increases in database read volume, bundles of data in the wrong place, large number of requests for the same file, suspicious registry or system file changes, unexpected patching of systems, geographical irregularities, mobile device profile changes. So these are some of the examples of indicators of attack which talks how attack is going through. In this module, we will learn about SOC, Security Operations Center. So what is SOC? SOC is a facility that houses an information security team responsible for monitoring and analyzing an organization's security posture on an ongoing basis. Security Operations Center staff is comprised primarily of security analysts who work together to detect, analyze, respond to, report on, and prevent cybersecurity incidents. Technology should be in place to collect data via data flows, telemetry, packet capture, syslog, and other methods so that data activity can be correlated and analyzed by SOC staff. Additional capabilities of some SOCs can include advanced forensic analysis, crypt analysis, malware analysis, reverse engineering, and threat intelligence to analyze incidents. Cyber intelligence includes news feeds, signature updates, incident reports, threat briefs, and vulnerability alerts that aid the SOC in keeping up with evolving cyber threats. SOC staff must constantly feed threat intelligence into SOC monitoring tools to keep up to date with threats. How SOC team looks. So there are three main modules within Security Operations Center. The first important work is real-time monitoring, second is investigation, and the third one is hunting, threat hunting. So you can see in the diagram, logs and events are coming from multiple sources like users, cloud, applications, servers and workloads, network, endpoints, IoT. So these are different log resources. Now after that, real-time correlation engine, it triggers and generates an alerts. After generating alerts, Security Operations Center workflow starts and it goes to the security analyst level 1. Some of the alerts that are actually the incidents, so it directly converts into the incident itself. Then if further investigation is required, it goes to the security analyst level 2. Along with that, there is one more team who is purely dedicated for hunting of the new threats. So how they do work? They will work on different kind of feeds, intelligence feeds, like indicators of compromise or indicators of attacks, and they will go through the correlation within the database, and or they can also monitor the security data warehouses. And in this way, the threat hunting team will work dedicatedly to find the new threats for the environment. So as you can see over here, some more defined examples are given, like real-time monitoring, processing increasing number of events, real-time correlation against indicators of compromise, reduced number of false positives. In investigation, ability to custom query across environment and time frames, construct blast zone analysis and remediate. In hunting, hunt for unknown threats with deep analytics and machine learning. Also identify new indicators of compromise to improve monitoring. So what SOC team does? SOC team, they do correlate events between different objects under your infrastructure like firewall, IPS, servers, transaction, anything. So how they do put together everything? Integration in a SOC that comprises people, process and integration. And the third thing is how you are running operating security operation center. So it includes how team is doing threat hunting, how to analyze, how to make it meaningful for a security posture for the company. What are the top 3 challenges in establishing security operations center? Integration is the key. As we can see in the left hand side, integration example in a security operations center that comprises people, process and integration. The second most challenging thing is skills of the engineer. Getting right skills in the market is one of the major challenge. And the third challenge is at least 60% of the threats should be automated. So what is security intelligence capability? As you can see in graph, it starts with log management, where you have centralized logs and you retain those data. Then after that you do the data analysis on those logs, like correlate technologies, or you do forensic evidence, or you create automated reporting. Then after that you will have near time alerting, and you will streamline those event feeds or for a high fidelity correlation. In fourth, you will see real-time analysis and incident response. In third, you could see near-time alerting, but in fourth step, you are seeing real-time analysis and incident response. It monitors events in real time and it minimizes response time, and it of course has continual tuning. And in fifth step, you will see security intelligence, analysis in depth, information fusion. Analysis becomes predictive in nature and uncovering new threats, which is very important, advanced use cases. So these are some of the capabilities of security intelligence. Now in this module, we will learn what are the common security operations center attack scenarios and how they could be automated. So example 1 we can see as SSH brute force. So you can do your own search if you don't know what is SSH brute force. So what we can do over here to automate these attack scenarios? In step 1, we will be collecting logs using FileBeat and Logstash from VM. So FileBeat and Logstash we will go in depth in our coming modules when we will talk about ELK. In step 2, we will be storing and analyzing those logs using Elasticsearch. In step 3, we will be alerting and triggering defensive action using Elastic Alert module. In step 4, we will be blocking those offending IP addresses in access control list using AWS Lambda module or services. In step 5, we will be maintaining state and rule expiring, which we did in step 4, blocking of those offending IP addresses using DynamoDB. So in DynamoDB, we will maintain the state and rule when they will expire. So these are the basic steps using that you can understand a attack scenario and how you will automate them in your infrastructure. So when we will talk about more in depth about ELK framework, then that time we could see in some more details about these kind of attack scenarios. Example 2 in this Security Operations Center attack scenario is AWS IAM CloudTrail logs to detect and defend against backdoors. So step 1, we will be integrating CloudTrail logs with ELK. In step 2, real-time analysis by sending CloudTrail to CloudWatch logs group and creating metrics. In step 3, we will be log metric filters and alarm from any third party pen test report. Like you are using any third party and using their reports, you can use their log metric filters. In step 4, we will be enabling CloudTrail log file validation. And step 5, we will be enabling CloudTrail S3 log encryption. So these are the basic steps that you will be using while automating the scenario of AWS IAM CloudTrail logs. The next module is ELK uh, and which we will start soon, but for now we will take a break and in next session we will start with ELK. Thank you so much. Thank you guys.